Hi, and welcome to episode 7 of the Virtual Review. I'm Grant.
And I'm Adam.
This week we're discussing Cubey. Will you tell us about it, please, Adam?
I sure will. Cubey, it's another endless runner. We've covered a few games like this up to this point. It's really cute in that all the graphics are primitive shapes, they're cubes, and you're hurtling down a quarter pipe, very akin to the Sonic 2 bonus stage on the Genesis or the Mega Drive, depending on where you're from. And that's pretty much the whole point of the game. Don't hit the cubes.
It's pretty simple.
Absolutely.
I think we've said everything that needs to be said. So we're done for this week, and we'll see you next episode for VRCast.
That's
Sprint.
Sprint, yes. That's our next episode. See you guys.
Bye. All jokes, Cubey is wonderful. I love it. Did you have a good experience with this game, Adam?
I would have had a better experience knowing I wasn't chasing your high score. But apart from that, I had a great time with it.
Which was, I think, about 4,100 when I said it. And I just did a 4,250 just half an hour ago before we recorded this podcast.
I'm stuck in the mid-2000s, around level 3. I think you said you got to level 5?
Yeah, but once I'm there, I'm only beating my score by 100 meters at a time.
Yeah, that's
I get
one
all
thing.
Excited.
Yeah, I was finding that as well. I'd keep getting close to where I was the last time, and I almost wish there was that mechanic like in Smash Hit where once you hit level 2, you can start from level 2. Once you hit level 3, you can start from level 3. So that part of it frustrated me a little bit, but it's probably just because I'm just not good enough yet.
And so this seems to be a common theme with VR games. The endless runner genre is really quite common at the moment.
Well, definitely the ones that we're covering, at least. A lot of the free-to-play or some of the cheaper games, and especially small development houses and single developers are opting for this. And it's a really good choice because you can jump straight in. You don't need a controller for most of these experiences. It's all head track controls. And it just works really well.
Yeah, that's a great point. No need for any controller for this. It's completely head driven. And also you're mentioning small development teams. And this appears to be developed by a single person.
It is, yeah. Alex Brigham. So, yeah, he's published it himself and developed the game in-house by himself, so...
Great job, Alex. I'm a big fan of this game.
Yeah, we'd love to see more of your work, too.
So, some of the positives... Well, I've pretty much only got positives for this, but a positive I have is this loads really quick. I mean, there's not a lot for it to load, but I haven't been binging this game a lot. I like to keep it on my Gear VR because it's a quick game. When I'm shooting to play something else, I'll throw it up, have a quick run down the tube.
See if you can beat that high score.
Yeah, if I don't get there, whatever, switch it off, move into whatever I want to play. And usually I find myself before I take the headset off, I'm like,
one more go,
run
just
down
one
the
more
tube.
go. That's a sign of a good game for me. It's just one more go, and I found myself doing that with this. I think I played for about 20 minutes straight when I went on for one game, so it niggles that competitive nature inside of me where it's like, I can get a little bit further next time, go for one more.
I couldn't work out if it was randomly generated or not.
There's definitely some random aspects in there, so...
I think the power cubes, perhaps?
Yeah, so we haven't mentioned the two different types of power-ups. So there's a yellow one that explodes all the existing cubes on the screen and makes this massive sound effect, and the other one's a blue one where you're invulnerable for a few seconds.
Yeah, and you can sweep through the bricks without... ending your game.
I think the bricks themselves, the green ones that you're avoiding are also randomly generated, but with also some patterns there. So I noticed
there are definite patterns.
Yeah, towards the end of the first level, you almost always get that same pattern of a heap in a row, and then you've got to go off to the right, then a heap in a row, and you've got to go off to the left. But in between those, I'm sure you would notice it after a while if it was the exact same pattern, because you would use muscle memory to go, okay, I've got to go here, then here.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a nice way of recalibrating.
We're moving into the next section.
Yeah. It's really smooth to play. It's never glitched out for me. The color design's nice and soft. It's a nice aesthetic. You're popping through different colors as you move through each level, which is, a given on most games. And the sound design's lovely. I know you had an issue with the loud clapping of one of the power cubes.
Yeah. Well, I just wasn't ready for it. I think I'd played for quite a while, just avoiding every block, and then I was like, I'm sure I'm meant to pick up these glowing yellow and blue ones, and the first time I hit the yellow one, it just felt like my headphones peaked out with this massive clap of thunder sound. I was ready for it after that though, so it surprised me the first time.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind it at all, and because obviously I'm a stickler for pointing out whether the soundtrack loops well or not. Yeah. I'd like to point out the Cubey Tube has a nice loop and it has a nice soundtrack. I quite enjoy the whoa. Like I'm kind of into the song. Like,
and it doesn't break when you die. Like, it just keeps going and going and going, and it never breaks you from the action. Like, you're straight back in once you die. It I think it has that little tutorial. It's like avoid cubes by doing this, and you're in.
Oh, it's just like tap to start again.
Yeah,
I think
that's it.
It's nice and quick. It's not hard. It's it's intuitive.
The mechanic itself is super easy to pick up. Like, as soon as you move your head, you can see, okay, I'm moving to the right, I'm moving to the left. This is how I control the game. I hit a cube, I die. Okay, let's try not to do that. So it doesn't need a tutorial or any hand holding or anything like that.
One heads up I'd give if you're diving into the game and you're trying to top 4250, which I'm sure must be easy. Level 5. Surely it's
next week. I'll have that
deeper
covered.
Into that. I don't go for the power cubes. If a power cube happens to be there and close, and look, grab it and it'll help you. But I found if I was shopping for the power cubes all the time, that's where
it's brought me unstuck as well. Yep. Sometimes you'll have one sitting right next door to a green cube and you might go for the power cube. It's not the easiest game to aim, and so sometimes you'll have a simple puzzle where, not a puzzle, but just a simple gap that you've got to hit, and I'll still just miss it because there's a little bit of gravity in the game. Like,
yeah, there is.
If you go up on the wall,
sweep off the wall and sort of drop a bit.
Yeah. So I found that kind of cool, and that also reminded me of that Sonic 2 bonus game where you kind of go up the wall and it drags you back down. You're kind of fighting and working with that gravity aspect as well.
And I quite like that. I think that aspect where you can drop off the wall gives you that little nuance, which is great about virtual reality, where you do feel it a little, but it's not enough to make you feel sick or uncomfortable. It's just
I definitely didn't feel sick at all playing this game.
But I did get the feeling occasionally, oh wow, it's tricking my brain and thinking that I'm moving.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
As for endless runners, like, I'm keen on this.
It's a really solid title.
I haven't been bored with it. I thought perhaps when I sat down to do a 20-minute session to do the screen capture that I might have got tired of restarting it, but I hit a high score at the very beginning, and so I was just constantly chasing that. Really enjoyed that song kicking through, and it's kind of calm to play, and I highly recommend Cubey Tube. I think it's free. I
remember it being free. I don't remember paying for it. So yeah, great work, Alex Brigham. Yeah, we really like what you're doing, and hopefully we see more coming from you.
Yeah, cheers, Alex. I can't wait to see what else you got up your sleeve. So as we mentioned at the start of the episode, next week we'll be discussing VRCast Sprint.
That's the one, yep.
And whether you're joining us on veer.tv or whether you're joining us on YouTube, we're uploading every Wednesday now. I think we have from the get-go. We haven't
mentioned it, but yeah, every Wednesday.
But obviously we're on a roll now and we want to keep it that way, so you can count on tuning in next Wednesday on whatever platform you find us on.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
See you then.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you at episode 8 here at the Virtual Review.
For VRCast Sprint. See you then.
Thanks. This episode of the Virtual Review was brought to you by Sense Immerse. Immerse your senses in a new reality.